All right, and we're live. So today I have here is Sarah. She's in Oregon and she has a story to share with us. More of an update, last week CPS took her kids with the idea that it was just a visit, a 1 to 2 day visit. Later she learns that that wasn't the case, and we're here to get the full story of what is really happening with her case. So Sarah, please feel free to take it away, and the floor is yours.
Hi, my name's Sarah Ellis, and I am here to share my story about my children that I have worked. Just in a few days, it will be the mark of 2 years that this case has been open. September 4th, 2018, my kids were removed due to allegations of chronic homelessness and no stable place to live and my mental instability. In the past 2 years, I have completely turned my life around. I have had a stable home for 13 months now. For 22 months, my children were in foster care, and November 2019, CPS attempted to change the plan to adoption. I did win that case, and the plan was and still is return to parent reunification. On June 2nd, I had my first face-to-face visit after 3 months of Zoom visitation due to COVID-19. And my daughter went home from that visit and told the foster mom that she no longer wanted to live with her. She wanted to be with her mommy.
Sure.
The very next day was my daughter's 6th birthday, and CPS came into the foster home and removed them from the foster home. So then at that point, my children had been separated. 3 weeks later, on June 30th, my caseworker came to my home and brought my child, and we did an in-home plan. So now, after 22 months of hard work, I've finally earned this in-home plan with my children. That went really, really well, and they continued to keep my son in foster care for another 3 weeks. July 17th, they brought my son home with another in-home safety plan. And just to rewind a little bit, the safety plan with my daughter, when they returned her on June 30th, there were 0 stipulations, just other than the safety plan of keep your home safe and calm environment. And they told me, here, enjoy your summer. Congratulations on having your daughter back. Then to fast forward back to July 17th, my son was brought home, and his in-home safety plan came with a very long list of stipulations. During those weeks, I took my kids to Bible camp. I got them registered for swim lessons. They both did very well in their swim lessons. We're going to the splash pad every day, enjoying resources in town. My town is very lovely. They have lots of stuff for kids to do. I was participating in lots of stuff with my kids. One of the stipulations on my safety plan was to not have the children around people who drink or use alcohol or drugs, and to not let anyone have access to my home or access to my children.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, I had asked my caseworker to approve a couple of my friends that have been very long time friends. They've been a part of my life for over 20 years. We've had children together. I mean, that have, known each other since they were out of the womb.
Right.
So I'm getting a little bit lost. So I went,
No, it's okay. You're just
I asked her to please approve these certain people, a handful of people,
right.
and she said, I'm not going to do that. You are welcome to have friends. You're allowed to have friends. You're allowed to hang out with your friends as long as it's in public. You're allowed to, her verbatim words were, you're allowed to go camping. You're allowed to do stuff, Sarah. And so I took that for what it was worth. And where I went wrong was the words out of her mouth did not match up with the words from the safety plan. And the safety plan said no access to Sarah's children. 2 weeks ago, I went on, it was the weekend of August 16th. I went on a camping trip. It's a yearly camping trip. It's been annual for the past 7 years. 7 years ago, my best friend's brother committed suicide. And every year, the entire family, we go to this certain spot camping and we celebrate Johnny. I was invited to that. I chose to pack up my children and go to this annual event.
Sure.
We laughed, we cried, we roasted hot dogs, we swam, we played on the boat, we fished. My kids caught fish. I've got pictures of my kids catching their very first fish. We had an amazing time. On Monday evening, when I returned home from camping, there was a message. My phone had died and I had no way to charge it because we were in a boat-in camp spot. And we were actually asked by the Crook County Sheriffs to stay another night because there was a thunderstorm and they didn't want us on the water in an aluminum boat due to the thunderstorm. So we did stay another night, leaving us not getting home until Monday. So Monday we packed out, got everything out. When I got to my vehicle, got my phone charged, got closer to town where I could receive better service, I got a text message from another caseworker stating, "Where are you? I need to find you." And in the meantime, she had this other caseworker who was just covering for my caseworker. She had contacted several people that I do not have releases of information for in a panic because she so desperately needed to find me. That didn't make sense to me because for the 7 weeks prior that I had had my children, I had been camping several times, and my caseworker, pretty much all she said about it was, "You went camping last week?" And I'd be, "Yeah." "Did you have fun?" "Yeah, it was great. We had a great," and she, "Oh, that sounds great. I'm so glad you're doing so much activities with your kids. It sounds like you're being a great mom." And then fast forwarding to this Monday, August 24th, my caseworker came back from being out of town. She called me at 2:14 in the afternoon and said, "How was I doing?" I said, "I was doing great." "How are the kids doing?" "They're doing great." She said she wanted to come up and have a conversation with me about the prior weekend. So I was a little bit apprehensive because I've been, dare I say, literally terrified of this woman for going on 24 months. And the back history of this story, I've literally sat in a chair trembling and literally peed my pants because this woman scares me so bad.
What about her scares you so much?
Just she uses her power and control. She at times has made daily threats. Even when I didn't have my children in my care, she would threaten to cancel my visitation. She would seek out information from she does seek out information from parties who don't have releases of information, who are just people from my past who may or may not like me saying things, not
Completely
realizing,
irrelevant to your case.
totally irrelevant. And a lot of these people that have these things to say about me are people from my past. I mean, I do have
Yeah.
a very colorful past. However,
Yeah, who
I
doesn't,
have
right?
worked very, very hard with my mental health agency, and I've been in treatment, ongoing treatment for 2 years. I've done all the classes and all the work. I just continue to stay with them for added support.
Of course.
So this Monday, I told the kids that she was coming to visit, and my son looked at me with tearful eyes and he said, "Mommy, is she coming to take us away?" And I said, "No, honey, that's not what's happening. We're doing really good. We're going to go to school soon." And I comforted them, my daughter and my son, reassuring them that we would be starting school soon. We're getting into our school schedule as far as, wake up time and go to bed time, and, scheduled throughout the day. We've been working on that for a couple weeks now. And again, she told me she was coming up to check on us and have a conversation about the prior weekend. When she arrived, she knocked on the door, and I lifted up the curtain that's over my door. I only saw her. When I opened the door, 2 sheriffs, Deputy Bottoms and Deputy Sanchez of Cook County Sheriff's Department, stepped into view. I can't remember which one it was. I believe it was Bottoms, stepped into my home before Sarah Wanamaker, and she was still standing on the porch and said, "Where are your children?" And they were right behind me in the living room playing. And she said, I said, "They're right here." She said, "They need to go outside now and visit with Elise while we have a conversation. We need to have a private conversation." My daughter hem-hawed and didn't want to put her shoes on because she didn't want to go outside. Neither one of them wanted to go and visit with Elise. But I was trying to follow instruction. And so I helped my daughter get her shoes on, and they went outside. And she came in, she had a piece of paper folded in her hand. She would not show me what it was. She started saying allegations of me going camping, that I had broke the safety plan by going camping with people who have been deemed unfit to be around children. I don't know why she said that. These people they did have an open case, and the caseworker, Crimson, who was covering for Sarah Wanamaker the week that she was gone, when I spoke to her, she said that she had absolutely no problem with these people, and that she just needed to know where I was, and that she was glad that she knew where I was and who I was with. She then she told me that I needed to pack a bag of stuff for the kids that would last a couple of days. And this was 5 days ago. She said she was taking them. She didn't use the term "I'm removing them." She said, "I'm taking your children and I'm going to change the plan to adoption."
And the reasons were just because she is following the parental plan to a T, but then she tells you something else.
Yes.
Does that seem like she did that on purpose to set you up?
It does feel like she did it on purpose, because I several weeks ago made it very clear. I gave her a list of people, including my best friend and her husband and their two children,
Right.
and their roommate, whom is a certified safety service provider. And also a friend of mine, a month ago, it was, Corey was returned on July 17th. On July 20th, the following Monday, I requested that my friend, he was helping me work on my van and was at my house. And she said that he was not approved and could not be there. He immediately left. And then Ms. Wanamaker advised me that if I wanted to have company at my house, that was fine, as long as the children weren't there. So I reached out to some certified foster parents whom my daughter was placed with for a few weeks prior to this in-home plan. I reached out to them and asked if they would be my backup, basically backup babysitter and emergency contact for school and stuff like that. They said they were happy to help. So the Wednesday before the camping, my kids went to one night of respite care, and my friend came and spent the night with me, and Sarah Wanamaker showed up during the time he was there and knew that he was there and the kids weren't there. And she was totally fine with that. Like, oh, okay, as long as the kids are not here, then that's totally okay. And then literally a week later, I'm getting reamed, getting told that I'm unwilling, and I'm an unwilling parent, that I've omitted information and been very evasive. None of these things of which are true. I've got a stack of probably 200 plus paper notes from my mental health agency stating that there's 0 red flags. Sarah's doing wonderful with her children. Sarah is engaging in treatment. Sarah is very motivated. Sarah's home is a calm and safe environment, because I have peer support that actually comes into my home once a week and has seen me in public and at home with my children. Sarah's house is clean. Sarah's just motivated. Progress, 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 everything going up, 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 up. Sarah is doing wonderful. The kids appear to love being at home with their mom. They're very bonded. They're very connected. All these notes say all these things. And
so it's like, why are we here?
Right. And
you know,
so on Monday, I followed instruction. I stayed very calm. I followed the instruction to tell my kids they were just going to spend the night with the Follicks, the foster parents, excuse me, that everything was going to be okay. And since then, I've gotten 4 or 5 text messages from my caseworker, one saying she wanted me to sign papers for COVID guidelines. She stated that she sent in requests for visitation. I called Deschutes County DHS. They have received no such requests. I called the director of DHS in Bend, Oregon, whom is my caseworker's boss's boss, and she said that I needed to ask my attorney to file an objection to the removal. The morning of the 25th, my caseworker, or my attorney, withdrew from the case, whom I'd had for 20 months, or 20 plus months, without explanation. And then I got assigned to another public defender, whom said that objection to the removal is not a thing. That he's unwilling to do that. He said that on this upcoming permanency hearing, where right now, as we stand, the plan is return to parent reunification. And he said that this upcoming hearing will be a termination of parental rights hearing, which doesn't make any sense because, again, there's no due process. I mean, if in fact they are going to go for terminating my rights, I've already been advised that that could be 6 to 9 months away before they have a hearing for that, and that they have to actually change the plan to adoption, and they have to actually go through a very long process. And none of that is happening. And my attorney, the only thing he told me was that I need to stop calling him and he will let me know if he knows something.
Well, yeah, I mean, he works for them. I mean, you know, it's
right.
like,
And he got
no matter
angry.
what, even if they're private, it doesn't matter. They work for them.
Yeah, he was, he told me he didn't have any advice for me. I asked him if he could find out when visitation would be. He said, my own attorney told me, you've been deemed an unsafe parent. You probably will not get any visitation.
What a piece of work. That's crazy.
So yeah, then back to Monday, my kids were, as I was trying to follow instructions and get them buckled into her car, because she wouldn't want to make it appear as if she was in the wrong. She wanted me to basically make my children believe that I was sending them away.
Of course.
Again.
No, I mean, that's what helps them. Yeah.
And I keep picturing the look in my daughter's face, because I had just like 30 minutes prior told them that they weren't taking them away. And she just looked at me like, why aren't you protecting me right now? I want to stay with you. My son was crying. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Please let me stay with my mommy.
Yeah.
My daughter was upset. She kept asking me to go in the house and retrieve more things. She wanted books, and then she wanted her dolly. And I was at that point listening to my kid and not the caseworker, whom was saying, we need to hurry this along. We have other things to do.
Wow. It's all money for these people. It's all financial incentive.
And then this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and she looked at me and very snottily asked, have they even eaten today? I'm like, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They've eaten like 5 times today.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So my daughter sent me, between my son and my daughter, they kept sending me back into the house. They wanted their toothbrush. They wanted their this. They wanted their that. And like I said, at which point I was just ignoring the caseworker and listening to my kids' needs.
Yeah.
And I at one point started to cry and went to wipe my tear, and the other caseworker looked at me with maybe some sympathy, empathy. I don't know what she was trying to portray, but she said, you're doing a really good job. They make those
weird faces.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're the worst.
She's like, you're doing a really good job. I'm like, and all I could think is like, yeah, I'm doing a great job of making my children feel like I don't want them. Yes, thank you for telling me I'm really good at that. I appreciate that. And Deputy Sanchez said, oh, this is okay. Everything's gonna be okay. And this is just a bump in the road. And I'm like, this isn't a bump in the road. This is my family. I'm doing everything right. I've got mountains and I mean, just piles of paperwork, notes, case notes. I've got 5 employees from the agency where I received my mental health, just nodding their heads like, what's going on? Like, Sarah is doing awesome. Sarah's doing great. Yeah. There's, again, 0 red flags. These people see me at their agency with my children at least 3 times a week. my UAs are clean. And I feel like that's what they were like. I feel like that's part of what this is about, is they want me to have a mental break. They want me to drink and use alcohol. They want me to, God forbid, commit suicide, because then they can just prove that I'm that horrible person. I'm not a good guy. And
so they're pushing you.
They are pushing me, and I've been pushed and harassed and tortured and abused by the system and by this particular woman for 2 years. I understand that the paperwork side says that I broke the safety plan. I just can't fathom that this was warranted. My counselors, my therapist, I even went to a psychiatrist the other day, and they're just like, this is unreal. This is unreal. You've worked so hard. You've made so much progress. You've changed so much. I've gone
You're
from
being treated like a child.
I'm being treated like a dog.
Yeah.
You know, they just a brood mare is what I feel like. You know, because they just, you know, you have babies and, oh gee, this one has really pretty babies. Look at how beautiful they are. Let's sell them to some person that is unable to have children. You know, let's not focus on let's not focus on children that are truly in danger with their moms pumping heroin into their arms while they're breastfeeding. But let's focus on this family who has worked so hard and changed so much and obviously cares for the well-being of her child. Let's attack her.
Yeah.
And
like their process makes zero sense, right?
Right. And there
it scares me.
There just was just nothing. And then on top of them calling people with no ROIs, them saying that these people, one caseworker says that these people are absolutely wonderful people. She has no problem with them. And another caseworker saying that these people are deemed unfit to be around children. That doesn't make sense. So, I mean, they work in the same agency and they're not even agreeing with each other. How can the public believe the stories that are coming from these people? And really, it makes me so sad that their word means so much. Like I have so many community partners and so much support and so many people saying that I'm a great mom. I'm a good mom. You're doing great with your kids. The kids are so happy to be home. Look at them. Look at how, I mean, when they were in foster care, they were sad. They didn't really talk a bunch. And then they come home and they just explode into these little butterflies of creativity and love. And just in a few short weeks, they had, you know, fully adjusted to being home.
Right.
We're so happy. I mean, my house, it looks like a little tiny daycare center.
Right.
And that's what we do. We hang out, we play games, we do puzzles, we make fresh squeezed orange juice together.
Abuse.
Yeah.
I call abuse right there. Like you can't give them a good life. That's ridiculous. How could you do that?
How rude.
Yeah, no, you're the worst. I think what needs to happen is get those people that you've dealt with and get them to rewrite your letters that say you've retained the information. I think we talked about taking away their ammunition. Anybody listening, this is a good way to take away any caseworker's ammunition, is because they work in the realm of the vague terms. So So you got to get your peers who are, you know, the people who are helping your children with speech, the people who are doing your classes, anybody that you're involved with that isn't your caseworker, you got to get them to say on their notes that you retained 100% of the information that you've been given. And if
Right.
not, that's when you ask that person, what do I need to do to be at that level that you think that I've retained the information? Because
Right.
with that information, they can't do anything to you. Like you're going to have a much harder time in court if you don't have that said versus if everybody says you've retained it. How is that woman, the caseworker, going to be able to actually do anything to you if everybody says that you've retained the information? Because so far it says you've showed up. So far it says you've been attentive, but
Right.
it doesn't say you've retained it. And that's where I think she's working with her leeway, because she's clearly manipulating the situation where she said it's okay to you and verbally, but then it just doesn't exactly match verbatim what it says on the case plan. She knows her case, she knows everything about it, and yet here we are still figuring out if you're a good mom, still figuring out if you understand how to be protective. And if that's the case after 2 years, what is she doing? 2
Right.
years. I had my daughter taken for 9 months, and I learned how to negotiate through FBI negotiation tactics. So using those tactics, I got my daughter back. And so if anybody wants to know how to do that, you just got to read Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference, negotiating like your life depended on it. It will change your life. It will literally save your life. It helps you understand how to bring people on the same page. And that's really, really important, because here, these people are known as, they're known as, what would you call that? Undercover narcissists. So basically, like, you can't tell that if you were to call them out as a narcissist, they'd ruin your life. If you look up what a narcissist is verbatim, there's like a list of like 9 things. It's exactly what the caseworker does. They target people who are mentally ill, or not ill, but mentally broken. They target poor people. They target people who can't speak English. They have an infinite funnel. A funnel meaning like they have customers, clients coming in all the time. They don't market. So when you get on their nerves and you're like, hey, can you do this for me? It's called ghosting. They ghost you. They've literally gotten you to the point where they know that you need them, and now they're gone. And this is exactly what narcissists do. So it's like, it's literally a blueprint of narcissism. So if you don't know how to deal with a narcissist, you don't know how to deal with CPS, because they're one and the same. I mean, I don't care if I get in trouble. I'm calling them all Nazis. They go around taking people from people's houses. What other people do that? What other people do we know in history who went around taking people who didn't want to be split apart? Nazis did that. So I'm sorry if it's too close of if it's too touchy of a subject. Hey, little man. But this is for our children. You know what I mean? This is for our children. We have to call it as it is. They cannot keep on getting away with this. And yeah, I'm sorry to go on a rant myself. Sorry, he wants to watch his show. Go. He is a cutie pie. Yeah, that's Izzy. Yeah, and that's what's funny is he didn't get taken in my case. Only my daughter got taken, and they said I was a danger to my daughter, right? And I was like, so how am I a danger to my daughter, but I'm not a danger to my son?
That's
that makes
my question exactly. Is these people that I went camping with have 4 beautiful, beautiful children, and they're deemed unfit to be around children, yet they have 4 beautiful children that are well-mannered, well-behaved, everything. On top of the fact that my children absolutely adore them.
How so what's the range like in the age difference? Is it like a newborn and teens, or are they all pretty close together?
In my kids?
No, for your friends, just for your friends. Like, so are all the kids similar ages?
They have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
Oh, that must have been perfect for your family.
Yeah, we had a blast.
That's a party right there. That's like 6 kids.
And a lot of hot dogs.
Yeah. Oh my God. That sounds like a blast. The next
And
time
like
I want to
7
come. All right.
bags of marshmallows.
Hey, I'm there. Hey, you had me at a blast, you know? No, this is awesome. I'm glad that you do have some sort of kind of, what would you call that, like support system. You know, I wish it was stronger. That's what we're trying to build this community for, is that we can do things like this. We can get your stories up on our pages. You can get maybe some feedback from people who are going through similar things, so that you don't feel alone and you have more confidence in just the world. You know, because it's us that's going to fix it. It's not them. Like, obviously they're ruining it. So what are some of your thoughts, like, just for the closer, just for some closing thoughts, like what do you expect, and what should some people keep an eye out for, maybe, that can help them?
I guess my first and biggest piece of advice would be to stay confident in your circumstances. Be confident in your circumstances, saith the Lord. Have faith. Never, ever, ever give up. Follow instructions to a T, and don't let your fear overwhelm you. Reach out, because there's people that love you, and there's people that want to help, and there's people that see the injustices. And just never stop fighting, ever. Because it's things like this that are going to say to our children that they know without a shadow of a doubt that we're never going to give up. We're never going to stop.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah. This has been amazing. Let's figure out if we want to do another one. Let's keep everybody informed with what's going on. And honestly, thank you again so much for coming out and doing this. I know it takes a lot of courage, and it's nerve-wracking, but I think you did amazing. So I think everybody's going to say you did amazing too. I know it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon. Okay.
All right.
All right. Take care.